Hi guys, so just want to make sure that we are live right now. I can see that many of you are here already. Okay, so we are live. So let's take some time to actually settle down and make sure that we're live on stream. Let me just double check. Okay, great. All right, cool. We're live right now. Okay, so I really want to kind of do a quick update about what is happening right now. And I believe everybody will be like, you're in the first time balloting situation and you don't know what's going to happen. So I've never seen, first of all, so many people queue for a priority. All right. So in case you don't know, Emerald of Katong, they are getting overwhelming response for the check collection. And what's most interesting is what the priority queue is almost 600 people. So it's no joke that this is happening. And I think it will be even a bigger joke if the units are all sold before even the public launch day. So there is something will it happen actually? So I don't think it will, to be honest. And later on in the video, I'll share with you. Today, if let's say you are going for EOK balloting, right? You're super anxious, or maybe you are kind of like a Chuan Park buyer, okay, and you are also going for EOK, or maybe in Chuan Park you never get a right queue number or the pricing is just out of your reach and you're waiting for EOK. So this video is definitely for you because you may not want to repeat some mistakes that some of the Chuan Park buyers make. And today, at least you have some time to kind of settle down, calm down, and don't know whether you still want to make record lah, like Chuan Park homeowners in the news, and you potentially are falling into a price trap. Okay, so my name is Edmund, and I've been assisting homeowners and busy professionals in research and analyzing for properties. And today, in this video, I really want to deep dive a little bit of what are the usual price traps that homeowners will usually make, especially during a launch like this that is so hyped up. There's so many marketing talking about it. Everybody, Tom, Dick, or Harry, when you go to the coffee shop, the uncle, auntie are talking about it. And what are the potential mistakes that usually we make during a balloting process? Because once you're sucked inside that situation, it's very difficult for you to get out. Okay, so today I really want to make a public announcement to kind of share with every one of you. And I have the latest update. Okay, this is projecting live. That's why we are doing this live. And in a short while, I'll be sharing you news that perhaps potentially you don't have access yet, and that's the reason why you're here with us. So let me just share my screen so that you can get a quick look. So how many of you are excited and wanting to know how much EOK has launched already in today's VVIP? Okay, so let us just start looking at it. All right, so first of all, let us congratulate this owner who have bought EOK for 2,767 per square foot. All right, so this is what is happening. Okay, and today we of course is the VVIP, is the not the public launch. All right, so we're talking about the VVIP. So they have VVIP, they have VIP. That means all the bulk purchasers, or maybe somebody who's buying a lot of units, and also maybe the developers, uh, friends, or somebody, business partners, they will be falling in today's ballot situation. And then followed by those bulk purchasers, and those bulk purchasers meaning what? You're buying more than one unit, but you must be under the same household, like husband and wife, that kind of situation. And then that's where the agents will take on over after that in the evening. And then tomorrow will be the public launch. So today, if you already know that the VVIP are already launching at 2,767 per square foot, so our projection of from $2,600 per square foot is actually very conservative. Okay, with this price point, I want to urge every one of you to relook at what is happening, and you may want to kind of readjust some of the strategies. I'm getting a lot of inquiries in, and many of them are like kind of, give me a second, because this is live, right? A second. All right, sorry, give me a second. All right, so what happened is that I've been getting a lot of inquiries, a lot of calls, and then all of them are kind of like, oh, Edmund, I'm getting this queue number 2,000, 3,000. What should I do? What should I be doing next? And this is also a lot of confusions because there are two groups of homeowners right now that today, if you're getting a very lousy queue number, right, then you may fall into the situation where, okay, since I cannot get this, let me wait for the next project launch, and then the whole cycle repeats by itself. Nothing wrong with it, because this may be your first time entering into a new launch condo, and you may feeling the anxiety like, wow, I want to buy, but cannot buy. So today I have this joke with a client. Today you got money, also may not be able to buy some properties. You got money, but you cannot buy, you see. Of course, the second group is that today you force out of your range, or whether it's the pricing, the units that you want, but you die need to buy something. That means you have really worked out you need to buy a property, and you anyhow buy. So that is always the trap that I see a lot of homeowners are making in today's marketplace. And with so many different launches coming now, as well as moving forward, even into 2025, I believe a lot of homeowners will be making a lot of different mistakes, because property is still a very emotional aspect. But what we like to do in our REI method is to support it with what research, data, and numbers analysis to kind of guide us in the right direction. Okay, so with all these launches coming up, of course, if you intend to seek a second opinion, whether your queue number is really not there, you really kind of give up because the prices are already high, you may want to seek a second opinion to see what other options is out there for you that you can undertake. Okay, so purchasing a property, I always believe, is not because of the hype. Okay, but it's more importantly is, have you done your affordability? Have you done your numbers correctly? And today, if the market is at your favor, how do you navigate into the market so you can exit in one of the years later on? All right, so there is no hard and fast rule to say that, oh, today market good, then I enter. Or the market is not good, then we enter. It's not about that. It's really about your foundation, your affordability. So today, there are a few things that homeowners will make is that, oh, because the prices went up so high, then I don't want to enter the market. I will choose to wait. Wait for what? Wait for prices to come down. Yeah, so there will always be a group of homeowners who will be feeling this way, and it's totally understandable. Because if you look back just barely 6 years ago, when prices are just hovering close to 1,008 to 1,009, nobody can imagine our prices can go up to 2,000. But right now, everything starting from a new benchmark in prices is 2,000 and above. If today we cannot accept this price point and we keep looking back, oh, I wish I have done something in the past, then forever you will be stuck at the same situation, because you are always looking into the past, into the old price tag, and you cannot accept what is happening. So ask ourselves, if today given a choice, will we want to go back in time 10, 15 years ago and buy those properties at $1,200 per square foot, $1,300 per square foot? So we can never get back those properties again. So moving forward, we have to ask ourselves is, today, if I can enter at this PSF or this quantum, how can I exit in future, which is very important. So of course, you all have known that Sophia Road has already sold 10% during its launch, Union Square 20%, and of course, Chuan Park at 76%. So later on, we will dive a little bit more also like what happened in Chuan Park itself, so that we can use it as a measurement to what is going to happen in EOK as a guideline. So my projections, right, we have 3 more launches coming out, right? Of course, Emerald Katong, Novo Place, and Nava Grove. All these are happening as we are speaking. Okay, all the VVIP, all the priority passes are already doing their selection at this current moment, where tomorrow will be the mass public launch. Okay, so if you have gotten your queue number, congratulations. If you have gotten your queue number and the numbers are very, 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 very good, then super fantastic to you that you potentially can achieve to purchase a property. But for those of you, if your queue number are a little bit GG, okay, don't worry, okay, because why? Today, take it as a form of what? Savings, okay, a savings grace. Why? Because today, you may have jumped into any of all these projects with the hype, with the anxiety and anxiousness that, wow, people want to buy, I also want to buy situation. But if your queue number is not good, maybe it is a signal, a sign to ask you to slow down. Okay, to slow down, step back a little bit. Is this the right move for you first? So a lot of times when they reach out to me, I always ask, so what's your plan? What's your objective of going into the market right now? Is it a need or is it a want? It's very important. That's where we go through a lot of our REI method processes to guide clients in it. So I just want to make a very bold projection based on the market sentiment, the demand going on for even Chuan and some of all these developments, right? I believe that today, Emerald Katong likely will achieve at least close to a 90% sold capability. Of course, it's after public launch, not just about the priority. So this is just my projection. So if you find that, hey, maybe you also want to participate in guessing what is the launch, comment below what is the percentage. And for Novo, of course, this one being an EC, I believe the EC is always a very good high take-up rate. 96%, that's what I see. And for Nava Growth, I always call this the silent killer out of the three big launches. Okay, I believe that Nava Growth has this very unique points where a lot of people kind of missed out because they were all shifted to what Chuan Park and EOK, right? So I believe it could be likely because of that, the dampened spirit, or it will maybe achieve at least even a 52%. So there is a very big shift in today's marketplace that we must acknowledge. Because today, if we don't acknowledge, right, then we will always be living in the past. Because in the beginning of this year, right, let me just draw your attention back to the beginning where it was actually a very slow process, a very slow start for majority of the developments. Why? Because in the beginning of the year, the market is still a little bit uncertain. Interest rate was still at a very high point. So there, even from a demand perspective, everybody starts to be worried. And because of high interest rate, they don't see it as a need to buy property or enter into the property market. So this is what we see. All right. Then overnight, okay, things change. With Norwood hitting the pipeline, right? 84% sold at launching at 2,067 per square foot. Then everybody starts to accept. If Woodlands can be accepted at 2,000 per square foot, if I can get other locations that is also in terms of location is better, then I can just buy. So there is this FOMO effect going on in the demand currently, which is a very big risk, and a lot of mistakes usually are made during this period. So even Mayor Blue launching at $3,200 per square foot, and also for 8BT, they launched also 50% at about 2,719 per square foot. So all this, why are people over a period of maybe 4 to 5 months, the shift in terms of the demand, why is this happening? We must ask ourselves, right? Why is this happening? And believe or not, is a lot of times whatever things that you're seeing on the papers, it could be already too late. Okay, so we all understand that the Fed rates has already came down since this year, all right, in September, and then another round in November, right? But actually for us, way before, since last year, we already preparing a lot of our clients and their families, right, to anticipate what is going to happen, and we project it earlier. And we have already done a lot of prep work in terms of, okay, maybe if you want to buy another property in time to come, you may need to sell your property first, because property is not as liquid. You need time, right, for marketing, then the completion, then your funds come in. So our role is to project what potentially is going to happen moving forward. And that's why when the interest rates start splashing all over the news, right, everybody's sentiment improves. And the market is also much, much better at the moment. Okay, so that's why I say that today, if you are in the market, right, you may also must ask yourself, like, today, what is going on with the marketplace, that today, if I enter, is it a safe route for me? How can I make it safer for me? All right, of course, if you look at One Sophia, they sold about 10%, about 2,750 per square foot. So I'm just going to run through this very quickly. Union Square development at $2,800 per square foot. And we have Chuan Park at 2,000, close to 2,600 plus per square foot. So this has been the projection that we have done way before, even when we are guiding our clients, that today, even for Chuan Park at $2,550 per square foot onwards, that is where we projected. And for EOK, we have projected at least from $2,600 per square foot onwards. Okay, and today's VVIP already came out at 2,700 plus per square foot. So this is the sequence usually a lot of homeowners make a mistake. And I did share this in a previous video. So if you want a little bit more detail, you can go to another video to take a look at what are the clear mistakes that a lot of homeowners are usually making. And then you end up crying to the bank. But usually Singaporeans won't cry. They will just regret. They just regret. Okay, and usually it's this process. Once they go through the emotion, the choosing of units, and if the units cannot, they cannot choose what they want, right? Then they fall into if other people are buying, I also want to buy. Okay, and they will look at their budget. They will say, okay, let's increase my budget so that I can achieve and get one unit by itself. Then you end up buying anything. But what happens is usually you don't know what's going to happen next, because you buy in that heat of moment, and then you fall into the buyer remorse. Okay, so these are all very costly traps that you are all in without understanding. You don't know, because it's a very hyped up situation. So usually before we even go for balloting, there's a strategy we bring our clients into, right? We do a lot of work, a lot of research and time invested so that today, even if you're going for balloting, whether it's EOK or whether it's Chuan, right? You are very confident and you're very comfortable with the purchase at a certain threshold for prices. Very important. So the question I want to throw every one of you here is, who is actually helping you to ensure that this comfort and this confidence is there based on pricing? Let's remove the emotional aspect. Emotional aspects, actually, you don't need agents really. You don't need us. Why? Because you can just buy what you like. You prefer this facing, you prefer this floor, then you just purchase. So you actually don't need anybody to help you. But today, anyone is helping you to give you another perspective of how property is being seen from a different lens altogether, especially from the research. Something that I just buy long. But some of you may be falling into the buyer's remorse situation, and this will happen. That means you have not done enough of your work and research that you, after purchasing, you put your 5%, then you have some remorse. Because this is very real. There are units that immediately the next day will be released out because the buyer don't want to buy. Okay, due to whatever reason. Or maybe it's they miscalculated their finances, or they realize that, hey, actually today, if I buy this property, I also cannot stay. So why did I buy in the first place? So there will always be bounce out units after that. And at the same time, there will also be new buyers buying into the unit. All right, so as of now, it's about 76.75% sold. Because why do I want to share with you all this? Is because today, right, history usually doesn't repeat itself. But it will show some signs and some, breadcrumbs to guide you through, like, hey, these are the few things that you should take note of. And most of the time as a homeowner, we tend not to look at that because we always look at the too negative stuff, right? We don't look at the more positive area. So that's where we come in to get you all. So Emerald Katong, we all know these are the indicative prices that were shown. So put your answers in the comment. How much do you think that they are going to launch and sold? I mean, of course, right now you already know the VVIP pricing, okay? But basing on this, right? Based on the number of checks and the number of priority, how much do you think a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom, or even a 4-bedroom average per square foot should be at? All right, type in your answers inside the comment. There's no right or wrong answers based on your understanding, like, hey, maybe this is a fair price. Okay, fair price that developers should launch so that we can buy. You see, that kind of situation. And of course, for the VVIP, we already know they are already launching at 2,767. And this is a 2-bedroom unit, a smaller 2-bedroom, of course. Okay, so you can use this as an indication. So there are some people who also share that, hey, today, that means if I buy a bigger unit, my per square foot can be 2,005, 2,004. Nothing wrong with taking that. So along the ways, actually, the last couple of years, we have been seeing actually for developer strategy, it doesn't mean that a bigger unit will get a smaller PSF. Okay, it's all about the quantum, the digestible quantum nowadays. Okay, because we have to understand for EOK is harmonization. Is harmonization. So they do need to factor that in as well at the same time. So you will always get a lot of FOMO effect. Then you will get people like, hey, my Q number is XXX. What do you think of the chances? You see, wow, if I can get a 2+ study, probably it's good, but my Q number is X, is so far away. There's only 800 units. Will I get it? You see, so these are all our real situation at the moment on the ground. That today, if you got a very lousy Q number, you will like kind of give yourself up. Then you must ask yourself in the first place, why do you go for EOK in the first place? That means you have not really understand that why do you want to enter into the property market. You likely go in because of hype. Because, hey, since everybody is going, hey, this location is quite good. Let me put a check and let's try. Then, my friend, you are speculating. You are definitely gambling with the market in this situation. So I want to pre-warn every one of you here. The moment if you dare to walk away from whatever pricing that is going to be released on EOK, or your Q number is very ridiculous, and you say that, yeah, then I don't buy, then you have not done enough clarity for your own property journey. Okay, I give you guys this tip. All right, so if you really need to seek out, like, do you really need to enter into the property market, not because of the hype, but you want to do this systematically to help build your wealth and elevate your assets step by step, well, you can reach out to us and we can guide you a little bit more. Because today you must understand, when you walk away, perhaps due to budget, is cross your budget, understandable, but your intention to purchase should not fall. Okay, it shouldn't be say that, oh, today I cannot buy this, then I don't buy already. right? Then you are speculating, you are gambling. Because today there are a few situations. What ifs? What ifs? All right. So today you must ask yourself some of these questions. If today you're balloting and then your queue number, whether it's good or no good, doesn't matter. Okay, but you need to ask some of these questions. Okay, the pricing is too high for me to buy. Do you still buy or not? Okay, you must ask yourself. Okay. And some of the people who buy is because they have been queuing, they have been waiting, they put go down the show flat. So many people they go and queue for to view the show flat already. They put in their chat, submit everything. There's a process to it, and a lot of people don't want to lose this opportunity. I totally understand because you went through a process with it, you see. And then when you're queuing there, you'll be like, wow, if I queue already, I don't buy something, it's like wasted. Just understand, my friends, everything that is being done throughout a balloting process is to be done this way so that you will buy one. Is to set to be for you to purchase property. Today is like when you go and queue your Hae Mee, you queue so long, will you just want to give it up and not queue that few more minutes? Same concept, right? That's why queuing in Singaporean is our pastime. So sometimes when you queue, you also buy the food not so nice, and then some you know is good, you queue, it turns out to be better, right? So property, please avoid that because, oh, I queue already so long, then I just want to buy something. I think that's very risky, okay? And because you already spent so much effort and time, that's why you don't want it. So next question I want to ask you all, if let's say today you all walk away, or your queue number is really no good, and you walk away, then today you have to ask yourself, are there any other projects that perhaps you haven't even considered before? Why is this so? Because unfortunately, a lot of the buyers today for all these projects are having a very tunnel vision right now. Meaning, yes, you want to buy. Maybe your intention to buy is correct. You already have very clear understanding why you need to buy a property in the first place. But you have a tunnel vision because why? Because everybody is talking about EOK and Chuan only. So you only think that, okay, that means this is the right property for me. Okay, everything flash in front of you 10,000 times, you will always remember this one thing anyway. So the question is, because today, are you making a right decision with this tunnel vision? If today there are other projects out there, okay, there are other projects out there you could be missing, then what will happen? So later on, you all must stay on to this live because later on, I will share with you how do we actually help our clients to spot the other projects that they may not have considered before, especially in crunch time like this. Today, if you have went into a balloting without a backup, without an alternative, then you're putting yourself at a very, very high risk. I share with you first. Okay, later on, I'll share with you what's going to happen. Okay, so I want to give you guys a real case study, a real case study. Okay, so we have one client who actually also went for Chuan. Okay, so what happened is this. Okay, he was also tunnel vision. Okay, and he was like, oh, Chuan is coming up, Emerald Katong is coming up. Okay, let's try for it. So based on our relationship with the client, of course, it's a very new client. So we have to understand what his situation is a little bit. So as we are progressing nearer and nearer to the balloting day, right, then we realize that actually a lot of your objective doesn't suit for even EOK or even Chuan. There is a certain gaps that they are unaware of. That's why we clarify. But as per every human being out there, if you have two big launches that is in such a good location, you don't put your check in to try, it's like 浪费, it's like wasted. Why? Let's try. I also can hope and see maybe something I can get it easy. So this is exactly what happened. Also, okay, put in for Chuan, and then the number came out 1,000 something. Okay, so 1,000 something in normal context for other projects is like, no need to even look at it. But in Chuan, surprisingly, we all have heard of stories, people in 11 p.m. still queuing and still can get the ballot number and still can buy the unit, right? So I also don't know. Are those pricing good? Are those pricing expensive that you just buy because you already queue so long and then you still purchase something? All right, so that is something that we have to be aware of. So I'll just share with you all a little bit context of what is happening. All right, so for this client of ours, right, he has actually a budget. Okay, he has a budget to buy 4 bedrooms. Okay, for 4 bedroom types. And for 4 bedroom type, the consideration factor is very different from a 2 bed and a 3 bed anymore. Okay, because why there's the numbers that we need to run through. We have to look at how the location and the type of property you go for is largely very different from a 2 bed and 3 bedroom because why it's easier to digest. So when we were looking at it, right? So during that time when the queue was already ongoing, by the time 1,000 plus, the timing is about maybe like 4, 6 p.m. already. So a lot of the units are already sold. So all these are the units sold at close to, for the 4 bedroom, about 3.3 million. Okay. Sorry, for 3.4 million range already, 3.4x. Okay, 3.4x onwards. So the higher units, that means what? If today you're looking at the lower units, they are also ranging about 3.3 million range. You see? So for 4 bedroom, does it make sense to buy a 3.3 million? From a pricing perspective, yes, this does make sense. But the quantum also went up higher and higher. So during that day, it's really like a horse race. Like you are watching the numbers jump, units fly off. Then you kind of have to do your on the spot research to guide your clients. So for our client, fortunately, he is not in Singapore, so he's overseas. So a lot of our communication, he's not in the incubator situation, right? He don't know what is happening. So we are the one updating him most of the prices and available units. But can you imagine if he is there? Do you think he will go for the 3.3 million just like that because it's a lower floor? Although they do not want to buy the lower floor, okay? But at the same time, over the phone, they know that units are selling, everybody is queuing. They are kind of tempted to go for it. Okay, I share with you. But of course, if you have a choice, you want to go for higher floor, but higher floor, higher price, and then I don't prefer lower floor, then what to do? So this is where the objective is important. A lot of homeowners walk out because they couldn't get a unit or the number or the floor level that they want, and they give up their chance to select a good unit. All right, so this is where a lot of pre-assessment needs to come in. All right, so lucky he's overseas, and then we are communicating through phone, through video, and then we are sending information. So I believe if he's there live, he will have gone for it. They have gone for it. So it was already about 7 plus p.m. Prices has really increased in one day 2 to 3 times already. So this is also where the turning point is, where we advise him one of the following. All right, one of the following. The first one is he can continue to go and buy. Okay, since he really waited so long, we already spent the whole day, then there's still units for him to buy. That means he can still go and buy the lower floor units. Number 2, he increased his budget and go the higher floor units to buy. Okay, so let's take a look now how much the higher floor units for the 4 bedrooms are. We just see what is happening right now. Okay, so let's take a look at the live 4 bedroom units. So you can see now the 4 bedroom units, if you are going for the higher floor, it's already close to 3.9 million. Okay, 3.9 million. So here you can see that today a jump from 3.4 original budget go to 3.9 million. Is it still digestible for him? So this is where we come in and advise him along the way. Not that he cannot afford, but is it going to be a little bit too stretched? Then we have to recalculate his finances. We have to inject whether the money installment, is it comfortable for him to continue paying if anything happens? So all these things are the ones that we look at. Because today, if you never go through all this process, when you're there queuing, it will be sure can buy, must buy, best buy this unit. Everybody will tell you, well, you queue so long, you must buy. It happens. Of course, the third situation that will happen is we walk out and take on alternative options. So these are the 3 things that you will come to that point where you must have somebody to advise you very, very carefully. And guess what? After we have analyzed everything, he actually walked out from the queue based on our advice. But why? But why this is important? And this got more interesting, you see. So I don't suggest, if any one of you are buying property, to overstretch yourself, okay, in terms of the finances. Not that you cannot afford, but today you have a set threshold that you want to work with, then everybody will tell you, oh, okay, maybe this is very comfortable for you. You can stretch it to pay for it. So you will know yourself whether it is comfortable or not. And today, if you're borrowing too much just to buy a higher quantum property, right, you also are putting yourself at a very high risk. The third thing is a lot of people, they don't practice the 4 saves in their financial assessment. Okay, we always practice the 4 saves. Without these 4 saves, then let's lower down your quantum, because this 4 save is going to help you hold on to your property. Why? Because property is not that today I buy already, I die myself in 3 years, that kind of situation. it's going to be very high risk for you. So a lot of our clients, when we are doing this, we are always what? Ensuring that today you buy this property, in the worst case situation, whether the market is uncertain, the market is not to our favor, or maybe there are some emergencies you have at home that you need to what? You need to use, you need to continue pay the property still, right? So that is why we always make sure that we have enough safety. Very important, enough safety. So these are the same things, even if you're going for the 2-bedroom or the 3-bedrooms type, right? You don't realize that when you are there, your budget will continue to keep going up and up and up without you knowing, one, because it's just the sentiment is just like that. And you are there, you see people buy, numbers being called, you say, oh, wow, I don't buy, like I'm the very stupid fool. You don't want to walk out being a fool. So please, my friends, don't fall into the price trap. Okay, don't fall into the price trap. This is important. So actually for this client of ours who are going for a 4-bedroom, right? This is what we always do for our clients. Before even the balloting, before the queue number is out, we will do a lot of preparation. Okay, we will prepare for the balloting process. We will do the balloting flow as well as the selection of units. And because we have done this, okay, we will look at the odds. Today, if 2,800 checks, what are the probability for us to get a unit? Yes, we will hope that we can get a good chance, but is the probability high or low? And today, if you have not done enough research backup, right, then you will go in blindly, you don't know what's happening. So actually, before the balloting process and the queue number, we know, right, we already went through multiple sessions to what? To go through with him to understand what is actually happening into the marketplace. Yes, today we are going for EOK or even for Chuan Park, right? But could there be, remember my what if question, what if there are also other projects that is under what? Under the radar. And most people forget about that. My role is to find the under radar property that makes sense, that in comparison, that is something that is worth to consider. Right? Because balloting is a very stressful experience. And when you're there, right, you just want to buy already. Okay, so that's why on a impartial ground, right, we will always be, whether whatever projects we go for, we always have what backup projects that we deem that are safe based on research data and numbers. All right, so that's where during this period we will go through with you to understand that, hey, this one, it don't seem that it will launch at this pricing. You can still wait for it, but the chances are very, very slim. So the amount of work that we do in comparison to the project, right, is actually very important. So must your unit be Chuan Park to purchase in the first place? You must ask yourself. You all have to ask yourself, is EOK the only project die you must start off with to purchase? If it's not, then why is it that you haven't done enough research on the other properties? So I want to give you guys an example, okay, a real case study example. So the reason why we go for Chuan Park, okay, are some of these reasons, right? Well, it's a big plot of land. The development is more than 800 units. It's very well spaced out. You know, they have high floor units facing unblocked landed view even. It's very near to the MRT. There are amenities around. There are also schools within the 1 km. And Chuan Park is quite a mature neighborhood. So a lot of people like to stay there. So I've spoken to some ex-Chuan Park owners also. They also say that, wow, if given a choice, I will also want to stay back there because of the what? Familiarity. So you have a big development of Chuan Park, you have full developers, full facilities, and the developer as well. So today we know that these are what some of the key traits that buyers buy Chuan Park for. I'm just giving you like this example, real examples, how we guide this client that in the end, why did we walk out from Chuan Park? And potentially this could be some of the key things that you must think before you even go for EOK balloting. Very important. So then my role is what? I need to fit in this entire criteria based on budget, based on layout, based on everything, and plus all these what ifs, right? Are there something even better? Okay, my role is to provide options. My guideline and research is to give you guys things that you haven't seen before. Because if you know how to see, then you will not need any of us to guide you. You can do it yourself. But there are always blind spots. My role is to provide all these blind spots so that we can explore together. So what if, right, today we can have all these things, but we can have even better schools. All right, if we can have very popular, better schools to purchase with. I'm also in a mature estate. I have amenities, I have MRT, I'm also a big development, and I'm in a bigger plot of land. I'm also having a full facilities, and I can have one notch. That means my developer is better well known. Let's just put it that way. We're not saying King's Park is no good, but there are some noises about the quality and everything. So, but if today you have a better developer track records, will you be more confident in purchasing? All right, with everything that Chuan Park already have. So on top of what Chuan Park have, my role is to add on, stack on more things that we want to make your value of purchase worth more. Okay, the value of your purchase worth more. So even if you're paying for 3.8 million or 3.5 million, I want to stack up more things. So what if I can stack up more things that instead of a leasehold property, I can give you a freehold property? What was the budget that the client was looking at? The lower floor was 3.3 to even a higher floor at 3.5. Okay, and the higher floor will be at least 3.8 million already. So this is what Chuan was actually doing in terms of pricing. So this is the range that we're looking at. So if today I want to give you this range, can I add on more things? Okay, let me see whether we can find something freehold. Instead of 3.8 million, we no need to pay so much. We may be only paying about 3.5 million X. We will give you a better district. Instead of OCR in Chuan Park, are we able to find an RCR property? RCR, which means you're closer to town. And within your surrounding, you have all the shopping malls and amenities as well that you're within walking distance you can go for. And in this location, you have future transformations to support what is going to happen in the future. And we are not talking about just additional plots of land. Additional plots of land, that is one key criteria for transformation. But the key transformation is other stuff, whether it's a commercial building, whether it's a relocation. So I did share this in my other videos about what are the five key things in transformation we should look about. It's not just about empty plots of land for development. That one is just one criteria. There are four more that most homeowners missed out. And today, Chuan Park is having the basement car park as well. So we are able to also give 1-to-1 car park. And all this for just 3.5x. Is it a safer option for us to look into? Okay. So we're not saying Chuan Park is no good. But today, if your queue number is a little bit out, you know the chances are very slim and the prices are already out of reach, then you must have some alternative solutions to actually look at. So before we even go for it, we already went through this exercise to discuss. Okay, we already went through this exercise. So that's why we already start letting him know what is happening in Singapore property market, because he's overseas right now, right? So he don't have access. So we are feeding him with all the information. Like beforehand, we were already anticipating Chuan Park is about 2,005 onwards per square foot. Okay, very, 2005. And our projection is actually for Emerald Katong at 2006, which right now the 2-bedroom smaller units are already going at above 2,700 per square foot. So our projection is very realistic. I wouldn't say that it's undermining, but it's realistic enough that homeowners choose not to work with us because we don't know how to sugarcoat. We don't know how to sayang you all, to tell you all the how do I call it? Undersell. I don't like to underpromise. Okay, I'd rather tell you the truth, and then if we can get it at a better pricing, right, then that's to our advantage. But this is what we call a fair value that developers should be looking at. So that's why we do a lot of research, thousands of properties, and we know the market so well at the back of our hand. We are able to actually project what potentially is going to happen. Okay, so this is something important. So before the balloting for the selection, we already went through all this discussion. We already went through like even selections like today, what are some of the units that's selling? Emerald Katong is going to launch at 2006. And then there are also other new launch lower floor units already going for 2.9 million at $2,600 per square foot. And we spotted something below $2,700 per square foot. We spotted the freehold property at below $2,700 per square foot. All right, then of course the client is like, wow, where is this? See, so today, if you don't have anybody to guide you through, you have to be very careful in not jumping into the purchase without understanding. So the what if question is, what if there are actually better products out there? There are better units, better projects out there that you totally missed out on. Why is it that you don't give yourself permission to understand first, explore first before you make that decision? This is what I need. You see, so of course we were highlighting with him, Chuan collected how much check averagely about 2004 to 2005 per square foot. And because we have done a lot of analysis, we were able to share it with the client on the entire Singapore, how the prices are like in comparison. Today, you may be looking at a very tunnel vision and just looking at Chuan Park. Chuan Park, whatever prices they come out, or EOK prices, right, is going to be just EOK. Maybe you will do a very quick comparison to Tembusu Grand or maybe some others, right? But that's just what you are doing. For us, we are doing it in a bigger scale. We will look beyond that neighborhood. We will look at RCR, we look at OCR, we will start comparing, is the pricing right? Because today you must have certain support price. If your support price is not in your area, then you're putting yourself at a very, very high risk. Okay, what do I mean by support price? Today, nobody like to buy the most expensive. But today, if you're buying the most expensive, you are setting the record price. And how do you benchmark how the next future prices is going to be? You cannot benchmark. You will only use your own guessing. And everybody says that, oh, next plot of land is going to sell more expensive. That's why you can sell and you can sell it higher in future. But you and me, we all know future, nobody knows. Yes, property prices in Singapore will eventually still continue to go up. But then is it safe for us to guess ourselves into the future? But what if today you have the price point that is already acceptable in today's marketplace? That means the price you buy, somebody already buy, and you're buying as a new property, would it help you as a support? This is what I mean. That's why we go very in-depth. And we even compare even the older properties where they have huge balconies and their actual sizes. So all this we study a lot into the details. And then we start comparing today when launched 2,550 law. So he was like, wow, he was shocked because when we were projecting about this amount. He did highlight, OCR also have to sell at 2005. He was also shocked. You see. So why Chuan will be able to launch at these prices? Because right, the outskirts, like even Jayden, are already going at 2,800 plus per square foot. So that's why we estimated 2004 to 2005 when it launched, and it did happen. So of course, the client already a little bit understand what is happening and then ask more question about what else we have. So that's where we do a lot more research to share with him. And eventually, right, because of the units, this is what I shared with you all just now, the balance units as well as the sold unit. And then the prices is so much higher. So eventually what happened is he decided that to pay a 3.8 million or even a 3.5 million for this location, it doesn't seem fair. So that is the reason why we went on to purchase the other property where just now I shared with you, all the components are inside for Chuan, but add on, we are able to stack on more value into the amount that you purchase. And at the end, he did buy at 2.5x million for a 4-bedroom. But this time around, it's a freehold property. Okay, how many of you find that this is something that it actually is doable if you have opened your lens bigger? Okay, so this is why I want to stress to every one of you here. Buying a property is not just because of hype. It's not because, oh, I'm familiar with this area and then you buy. You are putting yourself in a very, very big risk. Okay, I'll just use this case study as an example. So of course, some of you will be thinking, oh, if I miss this time, then I can go and buy the next project, then you go through the entire balloting process. So then you'll be forever chasing after the next property project that is launching, and you are speculating as well. And then you're not doing it right. Why? Because the next year, if let's say any of the launches, then you say that, how come so expensive? I should have bought the last one. But then you miss the last one, you are constantly chasing this situation. So I want to give you a quick overview. One of the key criteria we always look at, especially when we are doing comparison, that are there any other properties that is worth considering, is we look at one thing, the entry price and your exit strategy. Okay, your entry price and the exit strategy is very important, as well as just now I shared with you all the support price. So how do we look at support price? Let me guide you. So I just give you this example because EOK is here, right? So I just want to make sure that today you want to understand what is happening for EOK, right? And this is the usual research that we will do beforehand. So we all understand the A and the B as well as the C. We all know there's actually 3 plots of land that's going to be released, but don't know when. So they're all residential sites. So if today you're comparing, let me just do this. So if you're comparing EOK, right, we are averaging about 2,600 plus per square foot. Okay, so averagely, if you're talking about 2-bed, 2-bath, 2+ study, I'm just using a smaller size unit as a comparison. That means you are talking about easily about 1.7 to 1.6 to 1.7, close to 1.8 million. The EOK potentially will be selling you, maybe it's the lowest floor starting from 2006. But if you start looking at Grand Dunman, right, there are 2 bed, 1 bath, and 2 plus study already went up 2 million and 1.964 million. And there are 2 bed, 2 bath in Tembusu Grand already went up to 1.7 million, which is why EOK, even at $2,600 per square foot, everybody is chonging to it. Because why? They feel that this is very cheap in comparison. Okay, it's very cheap in comparison. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But you're only looking at the closest comparable, and you're missing out a lot of different situations. So one of the key things that we look at is not only just in this Katong location. We need to compare to the rest of the area to determine, is it worth for me to pay that X premium for that location, whether it's near. So there are always a price tag, right, to MRT, to surrounding, to your own preference. There's always a price tag. But the question is it worth to pay the X amount of price tag? That is where we come in from, okay, to do comparison. So one of the way that we do is, just to give you an example, how we look at safe entry and exit, is let's say today, all the new launches moving forward is going to starting from $2,900 per square foot. Okay, this has happened. Even Mayor Blue, all these are already crossing 3,000, but I don't want to put that into the same category, okay? Then we'll look at today, Grand Dunman is already going forward. 2,900 plus per square foot to 2,007, and their 2 bed and 2 bath already people can accept at 2 million onwards. These are all transacted prices. It's not asking price. It's all transacted prices. So which means that today in that location, you have a certain support about 2 million for a 2 bed plus study, or even a 2 bed 1 bath about close to 2 million. And this is Grand Dunman. If you ask me, did they overpay for this property? Is the MRT worth this premium? Let us start comparing again. So of course we have the Jayden in OCR. This is OCR area, and there are 2 bed 1 bath and there are 2 bath study already ranging from 1.8 million to 2.3 million. Then you may say, hey, like that, then is it worth to buy Jayden, or should I just buy Grand Dunman? Of course, Jayden, the situation is everybody is hyping on the second CBD situation, the mass development transformation they're going to do, all the integration that is going to be there. So this is definitely a forward future price point that it has repeated itself again, because back in 2012, Jurong Gateway, all these things are also buying way into the future prices. So instead of 1 cycle, they can actually profit from it, they have to wait 2 cycles. Okay, so Singapore property, generally, you don't lose money. Okay, to be honest, your property value still increase, but you just have to wait a little bit longer, that's all. Okay, so today, why I always go back to fundamentals. Foundation, today, if the market is not at your favor, don't force yourself to sell. Hold on to the property. That is the key thing about property purchase. All right, so Jayden is already 1.8 to 2.3 million. Then we look at the recent Chuan Park. Chuan Park is already 1.7 to 1.8 million, and this is OCR. Hugh Lock Green at Lentor, people are accepting about 1.6 to 1.7 million. Today, if you are able to enter at Emerald Katong at about 2,600 per square foot, actually that's why Emerald Katong people want to buy. They will want to buy. But right now, we already know that 2 bed is already 2,007 plus per square foot. Okay, so this is a wrong indication. I mean, I won't say wrong. It's starting from. So a lot of people will say that, oh, because this one higher, maybe it's a higher floor at 2007. If I buy a low floor, maybe I can still get 2006. Hope strategy. I'm more realistic. Okay, my role is not to sugarcoat. My role is to guide you to move forward. That is most important. Because if the day that you don't move forward, you are losing out a lot. See, so in this situation, then we say that, wow, that's why Emerald Katong are getting such a good turnout rate. And today, you are not the only one, unfortunately. Many people are also looking at this. All right, but what if today, right, based on just now the guideline that I shared with my client, how they can buy a 3.5x 4-bedroom unit, right? Instead of paying for 3.5 million in OCR, or even 3.8 million for OCR in Chuan Park, right? They are able to buy something very safe entry. And there's support price that comes along with it. So today, if let's say you are able to get a 2-bed at about 1.8x, 2 plus study at close to 2.0x, and this is a freehold property, do you find that this is safe, my friends? So this is the reason why today you could be missing out things in the other projects that you don't understand. Okay, so then you will say, okay, it's okay, Edmund, I will just wait for the next project. and then you go through the entire process again. We're not saying that you cannot do it. But today, that's why I come back to the why do you want to buy EOK or even Chuan or even Nava in the first place? Why is that? What are you trying to do with this property? What is it for? Is it for preservation of wealth? Is it that, hey, today you got some fines lying around and you want a safer asset? Or simply you just need a place to stay? There must be a reason that today, why are you giving up your chance to purchase a property just because your ballot number is no good? Or the price of that property has gone above and beyond your threshold? We should start looking at alternatives that there are still good properties like what I'm sharing with you here. How many of you find excited that, hey, today you can still get a 1.8 or even 2 million property, right? In RCR, freehold, and whereas others are already calling about the same price. So if you look at Grand Number, hey, almost the same price. Even cheaper actually if you can get. You see? And of course, if you look at Chuan, very close, you see? So why are we not accepting that there are good products out there? One word, they don't have the hype. So I always call some of all these projects the lost child. People always go and find the popular child, right? Popular ones who are very loud in class, and then always the teacher always call into them. But there's always this group of other children, right? They are in one corner doing their own things. Nobody bother about them. They are not loud enough. Yeah, this is what I mean. Today, in a hyper market, you have to be more careful in not jumping into too much of the marketing and the hype that's going on. There are lost childs out there that potentially you can look into and still purchase it at a good price. That is what I mean. So today, if you are really kind of confused and whether your ballot number is good or not, and you kind of like, okay, let us reset this entire property journey with the right guidance and get ourselves into the right frame of mind. You can seek a second opinion, just scan a QR code. We'll be more than willing to guide you through. And truth to be told, tomorrow we will have the final numbers of how many percent sold. And based on the situation, it will be a very exciting weekend. I think everybody cannot sleep. They just want to make sure that they can get something. But that's also where a lot of the mistakes are made. So I just want to leave you guys with this. And if you want certain help, do scan the QR code so that, scan the QR code so that we can help you with it. Or the link is already inside the comment. You can actually click on it so that you can reach out to us for some help. All right, so for those who are going for EOK, I wish you luck. You need a lot of luck, not only just about the ballot number, the queue number, is also the pricing. Okay, so that's another unknown that we will only know tomorrow. So those of you who are going for it, congratulations. Let's see whether you can get a good unit. And for those of you who are already out of the queue, don't be despair. Okay, treat it as a savings grace that is a sign to tell you to slow down, to move fast. There may be other projects out there that you have missed totally, you're blinded by it, and this is your chance to see what is out there for you. All right, with that, I see you guys real soon in